Okay, good morning, dear cadets. So we are in the chapter number 2. What is the name of chapter number 2? The name of chapter number 2 is acid, bases and salt. Okay. So in the last class, what I taught? I taught what is the difference between bases and alkalis. Reaction of bases with zinc metal, sodium zincate was formed and aluminium zincate was formed. What do all bases have in common? All those things we have completed. Okay, and now bases reaction with the what to say some bases reaction with the acidic oxides, non-metallic oxides, their reaction also I have completed. Reaction between calcium hydroxide and carbon dioxide, all these things have been completed. Now I promised you that one particular activity is there. That activity is related with the neutralization reaction and that I will teach you. Okay, so today I am going to teach you one of the activity which is related with the neutralization reaction between an acid and base. So as you know, what is the meaning of neutralization reaction? Neutralization reaction is nothing but a reaction between an acid and base to form salt and water with the evolution of small amount of heat. Okay, so just see, since in this reaction salt is formed, that is why this reaction is also called salt formation reaction. Okay, now just see, I wrote here prototype equation: acid plus base, that is equal to salt plus water and a small amount of heat. Always remember, during the neutralization reaction not only salt and water is formed, some amount of heat is also evolved. So now just see the experiment. See, now this is iron stand. What is this one? This is iron stand. What is this one? Iron stand. In this iron stand, you just fit one beaker. Okay, this is beaker. And in what is the meaning of these lines? These lines are nothing but the readings. Like here 10 milliliter, 20 milliliter, 30 milliliter, and in between also small readings are there, like 10.5, 10.2, 10.1, like that. Okay, now here you have to take HCl, and this is stopcock. What is this one? Stopcock. This is stopcock. And what is this one? This is conical flask. Because its shape is just like cone, that is why it is called conical flask. Now in conical flask, what you have to take? You have to take sodium hydroxide and 1-2 drops of phenolphthalein. What you have to take? 1-2 drops of phenolphthalein. Sodium hydroxide and 1-2 drops of phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein is the indicator. It is colorless indicator. It remains colorless in acidic medium but turns into pink in basic medium. Okay, in the beginning of this chapter I have explained you. Okay, so now your experiment apparatus is completely set here. Okay, in conical flask you have taken sodium hydroxide plus 1-2 drops of phenolphthalein, indicator. Now in here in beaker you have taken one acid, that is hydrochloric acid. And now just see, open stopcock, and not at a time only, drop by drop you just add to sodium hydroxide solution and keep on shaking it. Okay, so drop by drop HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, keep adding to NaOH solution. Okay, so initially what would be there? The moment one drop of HCl is fall on the NaOH solution and you say, so now it will disappear. Now keep on doing so. One stage will come when pink color appears. The moment pink color appears, that moment of time you should stop the addition of HCl to NaOH. It means neutralization is completed. What is the meaning of neutralization? The meaning of neutralization here means the formation of pink color indicates that the amount of HCl which was present in the conical flask has completely neutralized by the amount of HCl which has been added drop by drop. Okay, now their amount is almost equal. Why I am telling almost? Because little bit base will be more, then only pink color will be there. Because in basic medium only phenolphthalein produce the pink color. So now what is there? What is there? Now the moment pink color appears, stop the addition. Now neutralization is over. So just see. Actually, chemistry means chemical equations and reactions. How the reaction has taken place. I wrote here first NaOH, okay, aqueous. Then HCl, aqueous. Now what is this one? Sodium chloride. What is this one? Salt. What is this one? Water. Okay. One more thing I wrote here, heat. Just see. Before reaction gets started, you touch the bottom of the beaker, bottom of the conical flask. Okay. First only, before the addition of HCl, you should touch the bottom of conical flask. Then you add drop by drop HCl, and once the neutralization reaction is completed, means pink color appear, again you touch the bottom. You will see that as compared to earlier, now the bottom of the conical flask become hot, because during the course of neutralization reaction, some amount of heat is evolved. Okay, now that is the indication. Okay, let us come back here. Okay, HCl, NaOH, HCl, salt and water plus small amount of heat. Small amount means little bit amount of heat is also evolved. Now this reaction can be written in ionic form. What is this one? This is ionic reaction. Ionic reaction. How I wrote ionic reaction? It is very simple. Like just see. This is NaOH. What is this one? NaOH. Now in NaOH, Na is positive and OH is negative. So just I am ionizing NaOH into Na positive and OH negative. Similarly, HCl I am ionizing in the form of H positive and Cl negative. Cl negative. Now NaCl can also be written like that. NaCl means Na positive plus Cl negative. Na positive plus Cl negative. Now here what is there? Water plus heat. Water plus heat. Water you can't ionize because water is covalent compound and the rest all are ionic compound. So NaOH, HCl, Na positive, Cl negative and water. Okay, and now just see one important thing. Now this is ionic equation. There are some ions. What is this one? Na positive is ion, OH negative is ion, H is also ion, Cl is also ion. So ions which are present in the reactant and product side both, they should be cancelled out. Now just see. Na positive should be cancelled out because Na is present in reactant side and Na positive is present in product side. Okay. Now Cl negative and Cl negative should also be cancelled out. Should also be cancelled out. Okay. Cancelled out or not? Because Cl is present in product side also and reactant side also. Now ultimately what is left? Ultimately OH negative plus H positive is left. This is equal to H2O plus what is there? Heat. Plus what is there? Heat. So just see what is the neutralization reaction. Now we can redefine the neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction is nothing but a combination between H positive given by acid and OH negative given by base to form water. Okay, just try to understand. Everything is cancelled out. Common ion is cancelled out. What are common ion? Ions which are present in reactant and product side both. Okay, Na positive is present in reactant side, Na positive is present in product side. They should be cancelled out. OH, Cl and Cl, this should also be cancelled out. What is left? Now OH ion that is left which has come from base. Cl negative, that H positive that has come from HCl, acid. So ultimately during the neutralization what is happening? nothing is happening, only OH negative and H positive is getting combined. What is there? OH negative and H positive is getting combined and water is formed. What is formed? Water is formed. So ultimately what is the neutralization reaction? Neutralization reaction is nothing but a combination of H positive and OH negative furnished by acid and bases. H positive has been furnished by acid and OH negative is furnished by base to form water. Now salt is not there because salt NaCl that has been cancelled out. So this is all about the activity which is related with the neutralization reaction. Moreover to this, you have got the new definition of neutralization reaction. So neutralization reaction is nothing but a combination between H positive given by acid and OH negative given by base to form water. OH negative and H positive. Just check here. OH has come from base, H positive has come from acid, and they form water. Okay. So this is all about the neutralization reaction. Now let us move toward the another aspects of bases. So as I taught you dilution of acid, so there is a dilution of bases also. Dilution of acid is exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction because heat is evolved. And one more aspect of acid I taught during the course of dilution. What should be there? Never add water to acid. Always add acid to water. That also I have explained. Now here also dilution of next topic is dilution of bases. Okay. So now mixing of bases with water. So what is the name of this process? Mixing of bases with water. This is called dilution of base. What is this one? Dilution of base. So whenever here also follow the same process. Never add water to base. Always add base to water. Okay. So the process name is dilution of base. And see, when base is added to water, so it is getting diluted and some amount of heat is evolved. So this process is also an example of exothermic reaction. The bottom of the beaker will become hot, as was the case with the acid dilution. Okay. So when base is added to water, some amount of heat is evolved, hence dilution of base is an exothermic reaction. Now try to understand. Suppose this is one beaker, and here I have taken concentrate NaOH. Okay, or it is better to take here water, some amount of water here. Take here water. Okay, and with the help of dropper, you are adding here NaOH, concentrate NaOH. Okay. So keep on adding. Now bottom of beaker will become hot. It means reaction is exothermic reaction. Okay, no issue. Now try to understand effect of dilution on hydroxide on concentration of a base. Okay. Now try to understand. Suppose here I have taken another one. Just see. This is one of test tube. This is another test tube. Okay, one test tube. This is third test tube. Okay, in this test tube you have taken dilute NaOH. Okay, dilute NaOH. Okay, now you small amount of NaOH remove and add to second test tube, that is B test tube. Okay, but here small amount 5 milliliter of NaOH you have removed from test tube A and added to test tube B, and further you have added there 10 milliliter of water. Means further you have diluted the solution. Okay. Now again after dilution, again remove 5 milliliter of NaOH and add to test tube C and further add 10 milliliter of water. Means keep on adding water. as you proceed from test tube A to C. Okay, then what would happen? The number of or concentration of OH negative ion in the base. Just see, in test tube A, OH negative ion will be more as compared to B and C. Means this order would be like that: A, then B, then C. Why? That is the question. Just see, as you keep on diluting the per unit volume of base, the number of OH negative ion decrease. The number of OH negative ion decrease per unit volume. Okay, I am talking of per unit volume. Here in test tube A, number of OH negative ion per unit volume is more. Now when you dilute this one, so per unit volume OH negative ion will be less. Now in test tube C, per unit volume OH negative ion will be further reduced. So as because you are keep on diluting, you are keep on adding water. Okay, so just see, during dilution of a base, the number of OH negative ion per unit volume, this is most important thing, per unit volume decreases. Hence basic strength of base also decreases. So just see, the basic strength, acidic strength of a solution is directly proportional to the number of H positive one. I am talking of solution. The acidic strength of a solution is directly proportional to the number of H positive ion present in that solution. Similarly, the basic strength of a solution is directly proportional to the number of OH negative ion present in that solution. Okay, suppose one very simple thing is there. Suppose you have taken 20 milliliter of water, 20 milliliter of water, and near about 5 gram of sugar you have added. Okay, sugar you have added. So 20 milliliter water is there and 5 gram sugar is there. From this solution, you are removing 5 milliliter that solution. Means in 5 milliliter of solution, water is also there, sugar is also there, and you are transferring to another vessel, and further 10 milliliter of water you are adding. Then what would be there? Now the concentration of sugar particle in test tube second will be less or not? Further you are removing that solution and adding to the test tube C, and again you are adding 10 milliliter of water. So in the C test tube, sugar particle will be further decreased. So in per unit volume, the number of sugar particle keep on decreasing as you are keep on adding water. And water addition means diluting. Okay, same is the case here also. So remember, during the dilution of acid, two things are happening. Number one, the per unit volume of solution, the H positive ion concentration is decreasing. Hence acidic strength is also decreasing, because acidic strength of a solution is directly proportional to the number of H positive ion. Similarly, the basic strength of a solution is also directly proportional to OH negative ion. Greater the number of OH negative ion, greater will be the basic strength. Okay, are you getting my point or not? So already I wrote here, greater the number of H positive ion, greater will be the acidic strength, lesser the number of H positive ion, bigger will be the basic strength. Okay, same is this side also I wrote, greater the number of OH negative ion, greater will be the basic strength of solution. Lesser the number of OH negative ion, bigger will be the basic strength of solution. Okay, so two things are happening in case of dilution of acid or bases. The number one thing is the per unit volume of solution of acid or base, H positive or OH negative ion is decreasing. H positive in case of acid, OH negative in case of base. Second one thing is acidic strength, which is directly proportional to the number of H positive and OH negative ion, is also decreasing upon dilution. On dilution. So these two things are happening in case of dilution of acid and bases. Okay, so now these two things just you remember, they are very important. Okay, now let us move towards the last portion of this one, base topic. What is that one? There is one more thing I wrote in this side and this side. here and here. That is daily quiescent. What is the meaning of daily quiescent? Phenomenon of absorption of moisture from air and getting into dissolve. Okay. Example of daily quiescent substances NaOH and KOH. Okay. What is this one? Just very simple thing is there. You keep any substance in the open. Okay. What it will do? It will absorb the moisture from the air and it will dissolve into it. Okay. So what is this one? Phenomena of absorption of moisture from air and getting into dissolve. That is called NaOH and KOH. That is called NaOH and KOH. Phenomenon of absorption of moisture from air and getting into dissolve, that is called daily quiescent substance. Such substances are called daily quiescent. NaOH, that is caustic soda and caustic potash. Caustic soda is NaOH, caustic potash is KOH. They are such kind of substances. Which absorb the moisture from air and get dissolved into it. Similarly, there is one more word that is called hygroscopic. What is this one? Hygroscopic. What is this one? Phenomenon of absorption of moisture from air but do not dissolve. In hygroscopic substances, what is happening? They will absorb the moisture from air but they will not dissolve. It means daily quiescent substances, they absorb more moisture from air as compared to hygroscopic substances. Here what is the example? Common salt, NaCl. That will also absorb the moisture from air but it will not dissolve. That is the difference between daily quiescent substance and hygroscopic substance. Lime is also like that. Lime, this is calcium oxide. I am not talking of quenched lime. I am talking of this one, lime. Okay, calcium oxide. Okay. This also absorbs the moisture but do not dissolve into it. So please remember these two terms also, daily quiescent and hygroscopic. Substances which absorb the moisture from air and dissolve into it, that is called daily quiescent substances. And substances which absorb the moisture from air but do not get dissolved, they are called hygroscopic substances. Okay. Example of hygroscopic substances is sodium chloride and calcium oxide. Example of daily quiescent substances is NaOH and KOH. Okay. Now let us move toward the last portion of this one. So now uses of some common bases. Okay. So just see. Now I wrote here 5 bases. Okay. First one is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. What is the commercial name of this one? Caustic soda. What is the chemical formula? NaOH. Where it is used? In manufacture of soaps, artificial fiber like rayon. Okay. Artificial fiber is made with the help of NaOH. Next one is potassium hydroxide. What is the commercial name of this one? Caustic potash. What is the chemical formula? KOH. In manufacture of soft soap. In manufacture of soft soap. In nickel iron storage battery. Okay, what is the KOH? The first use is in manufacture of soft soap. The soap are basically 2 types. One is the soaps which are used for washing the clothes. Okay, they are hard soap. And here NaOH is used. And for bathing soap, which is used, KOH is used. So in manufacture of soft soap, in nickel iron storage battery, KOH is used. Please remember, this is another use in nickel iron storage battery and for absorbing CO2. For absorbing CO2. This is also one of the use. So 3 uses are there. Next one is calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide, that is called slag lime. What is this one? Slag lime. Okay. Slag lime is calcium hydroxide. Slag lime, that is calcium hydroxide. Chemical formula CaOH whole twice. Chemical name. Okay. What is the use of this one? In manufacture of bleaching powder, in whitewashing, and just see. First one is in manufacture of bleaching powder. Bleaching powder, this unit is only there. Will teach you later on. But just remember, in the manufacture of bleaching powder, in whitewashing, just see wall or some other places for whitewashing, this calcium hydroxide is used. Another one is also there in testing of CO2. So I told you when CO2 gas is supplied to lime water, it turns milky, okay, due to the formation of calcium carbonate, and milkiness disappear or fade when excess of carbon dioxide is supplied, because calcium bicarbonate is formed which is soluble, and now milky PPT is formed or milkiness appear due to insoluble nature of calcium carbonate. So that day only I have explained this one. Next one is magnesium hydroxide. This is called milk of magnesia. What is this one? Milk of magnesia. Magnesium hydroxide as an antacid. When we are suffering from acidity, what is given? Milk of magnesia is given as an antacid. Okay, this is means most important application of magnesium hydroxide. Next one is ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide is NH4OH. What is this one? NH4OH. That is chemical formula for removing grease from clothes. For removing grease from clothes. That is the one of the application. For removing grease from clothes. And next one is for cleaning window pane. Okay. So now ammonia solution. This is also called ammonium hydroxide. This is also called ammonia solution. Ammonia solution. And what is the use of this one? For removing grease from clothes and for cleaning window pane. For cleaning window pane. Okay. So these are the sum of the application. These are the sum of the application of bases, and you should remember anything can be asked during the course of exam. So as I told you the uses of acid, in the same way I have explained you the uses of bases. Okay. So please remember, in this way your base syllabus is also completed. This is your syllabus for the monthly test 3rd, which is going to be taken place in the month of September. Your science exam is on 4th of September. So be ready, means till here, till basis only question will be asked. Okay. So I hope that you will prepare it. And now this time only MCQ type of question is there. For me already I have started from monthly test first only MCQ type. Okay. So this time again you will get the 6 question from MCQ portion, and please write the correct option. Okay. Thank you.